didn't want to talk, it was an ego thing. But rather than just that one specific incident, like, you know, they should be looking to get better. And if they're paid to do a game, they should put the effort in. And a lot of them do. A lot of them do. But then there's some that don't. Like, my daughter, she's 11, nearly 12. She's just done a referee certification. She hasn't done a game yet, but she's certified. You know, I just said to her, you know, as long as you running and moving, I think that's fine.
That's right.
But when you see the kids, like, whether they're doing a 4v4 or a 7v7 game, and whether it's a young kid or an old person, and they just stand in the center circle, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That drives me crazy.
But, yeah, we need to respect them in the end. Of course, that if walking around, I think, like you said, have the board meeting, have your league meeting, like in USL, we'll have our meetings. And I think it's the time for you to brought the issues that you have, and so they can address the referee committee to get better. I think the idea is when you do a complaint is improve the quality of the refs, right? I think on the field there is time to respect, and we do our mistake as a player, as a coach, right? We do bad decisions there. So we have to expect them to bad decisions. We don't have VAR, right? For us. So, and even VAR, they are doing bad decisions there.
Were you there last year, Marcos? And there was a altercation. You were in that game. Yeah. Altercation at the field. Obviously, the ref wouldn't talk then because everybody's going back and forth. He waited for everything to clear up, and then I'm not relating it to your case, but it was
the game in West Bloomfield.
Yeah. Where there's a big altercation. Yeah. And
the Battle of Bloomfield.
Yeah, the Battle of Bloomfield.
Yeah, that game that was tied, right? The 3-3.
Yeah, the 3-3 game. Yep.
Yeah, but the referee acted good there, I think.
Yeah, he was professional.
In that game. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, he waited. He waited till all the smoke cleared. Yeah. And he wrote his report right after the fact, and he didn't let anyone come to him, but he addressed it with, I think, unfortunately the police were called, but, you know, I think that was a professional way to deal with it. And then it was dealt later by the committee. Yeah,
he I think he handled the situation pretty good there.
Right. Yeah. So
he didn't put more fire. Some refs sometimes put more fire, right? But
now, all right, let's put your daughter. Say she was older, because if an adult were to address her now at almost 12, it'd be ridiculous, right?
Probably what happened though. You hear tuts and complaints, or even just like, you know, oh no, you got the throwing wrong, or you got this. You hear it from parents, right? They get way too caught up in it.
Yeah. You know. So if you were a referee, how would you want to be addressed?
By who?
Both coach and parents, or parents.
I would expect the coach to have a better, a more knowledgeable dialogue. I wouldn't expect them to complain about everything, and if they were, then they lose credibility. A bit like the boy who cried wolf, right? You just complain all the time. But if they have one issue and they want to bring it up at the end of the game, I would have no issue with that. And as for parents, I think you've got to be able to understand that there's a balance between being involved in their kid's game and maybe just following it and doing self-commentary, and even if they say, oh, the throw-in's wrong or whatever, I wouldn't really care that much. But if then it starts to get to a level while they're shouting out to the kids, being a nuisance to the other parents, being, rude to me in terms of if I was the ref and constantly getting negative feedback from them, then, I would stop the game and go and address them, give them a warning, and then if they wanted to keep going, I'd send them off or make the coach go take them off.
Yeah. So during the match, it's the best for the coach and or captain maybe to address it?
What, parents?
No, referees.
Well, it depends on the decision. I mean, look, it's a kid's game. It's not necessarily, if there's a penalty given, it's given. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But if they want to come at the end and say, I disagree with that and state their point, depends on the decision. There was one game where we were in the tournament and our player did a tackle on the 6-yard line and won the ball. And as they nipped in and won the ball, so our defender got the touch, and then our keeper dived on it in the 6-yard area. And the linesman started flagging, and he was wanting the ref to award an indirect free kick for a back pass. But that's obviously not a back pass when you make a tackle and then the keeper just dives on it right by your goal line. Right. So, you know, and to be fair, the ref, our team was losing. It was the last minute. It was like 3-0. You know, the ref would have given it, but because it was 3-0 in the last minute, they didn't. So that sort of thing, if that was a game-winning decision, then I wouldn't have gone up to that linesman who was probably 12 or 13 mad at the end, but I've tried to explain why that wouldn't be a back pass.
Right.
You know,
that's the worst. Like, it gets subjective. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna give this. You guys are winning 3-0. You don't need another goal. Or I'm not saying that was the case, but
well, you could tell that's what made the referee not give it.
Right.
You know, because we were complaining from the sideline because like you seriously can't give that for a back pass. Are you trying to give a back pass there?
If it's a foul or if it's a handball, it is what it is. Just call it objectively.
Yeah.
The game have a lot.
He was gonna say
the game already have a lot of
gray areas.
Gray areas for interpretation, right? For some ones, you have to be straightforward to, like you said, be objective as much as you can. It's already too much open for interpretation there.
What is college like? Who addresses it in college, Tommy?
I mean, typically you want your captain to address it. At halftime, if there's something that you see that's happening, you may go up to the ref and say, I'm seeing some of this. What do you think? And they'll say, oh, I'll look for it or that. And, I mean, you can't really control every player, though. But most of the time, my team was pretty good about it. Nobody was really getting on the ref about anything. I was captain of my team my senior year, so I think I did a pretty good job.
So you just went up to the ref? And
at halftime. I mean, a lot of times the ref will say, if there are any complaints, I'll only be talking to the captain. And so they only speak with the captain, and it'll be like, they'll either call the captains if the game is getting rough, say to talk with your team, or if someone has a complaint, I'll be like, hey, just leave it. I'll talk to the ref at half. Yeah. And it's usually gets you a lot further.
Go a lot on the coach too, right? I don't know about college, but you see this in the pro games that the team reflects the coach on the bench much of the time, right? The teams that complains more, you look the coach style is same, right? So coach, that mentality to the training, the talking with the players, I think is how he educates the players, right?
Yeah. What are your players like? Angels. Are they just like? I mean,
to your point, you're right. If you've got a coach barking along the sideline the whole time, it's a distraction to everyone and the players. You don't want to create that excuse mentality of it's the ref's fault. Or we had a bad ref today.
Oh yeah.
If you have a bad ref, you have a bad ref. But I mean, the topic in general, it's that finding that fine line. If you do have to protect the refs, you do have to thank them for being a refs because we need refs to have games. But on the other hand, I hate sometimes some refs who have that ego who just like they're untouchable and they walk around better than everyone else. That's just that's the annoying part. But
Tommy, tell him, Tommy.
What do you mean?
Tell him about the penalty. Tell him about the penalty, please.
We don't need to get into every single scenario.
This guy
here.
called me. He went on for 40 minutes.
You're Brazilian. You probably did dive.
I didn't dive. It wasn't me. I wasn't involved. I was not involved. Tommy was the.
All right, we'll just make it quick. I mean, this team was playing a really high line, and we were up 2-1. We weren't having the most possession because they were pressuring a lot, but we did get a nice pass on the other side. And I took a long touch forward, and I was behind their entire line. And I'm right on the line of the box shooting the ball, and this guy just destroys me while my arm is out and I'm shooting. And he just wrecks me. I'm bruised. I have a bruised rib for like a week and a half. And I would go flying like 5 yards. And then the ref comes up, and the last man. The ref comes up and just gives him a yellow card. And I was so mad. And I got up and I just told him, like, I'm usually not yelling at refs, but I just told him, he was like, you're the biggest moron in the world.
That was effective.
I was thinking about walking off the field. It was just so absurd. But this is like, I mean, I understand this is not going to be like a a more regimented game as like it was just an indoor league run by Total Sports, so it's not like
just indoor. I mean, they try not to give reds, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that scenario, not to change topic too much, but and this is maybe more of a law change, but I hate it when, say you're right, like you're taking a shot and you just get your shot off and you get destroyed, which would be like a foul, right? And let's say your shot goes over a bar. Why? There's no advantage there. That should be a penalty. Just because you just... But no refs ever call it in the pro game, right? Because you took your shot, and even if like a split second later you're downed by the keeper or you're whatever, I don't understand why they don't give that as a foul. It's only an advantage if it goes in, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, that interpretation is like the side sliding sometimes. The guy, they say, oh, the guy touched the ball first, but man, the guy really go to touch whatever he could get there, ball, player.
The Ramos tackle.
Yeah.
Getting a glancing blow of the ball and then destroying the guy.
That doesn't matter anymore, right? It's about the follow-through. That's something we would say 10 years ago. I got the ball first, but now if you get the ball and destroy a player, it's not quite the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They should do it. It wasn't in Brazil that they did that. Didn't they like behead a linesman or something? Someone stabbed and then they went back and got the linesman. The linesman stabbed a player in rural Brazil and then the whole village came out and beheaded him. I only Google it. I know that happens.
That's like Division 4 or something.
Probably.
Only in Division 4 you get beheadings. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Then you go to VARs. Yeah. Then.
Next week, I'll Google that for next week.
All right. Cool. All right. We talked about. I think there's so much on reffing that we can talk about, and I'm sure people that are tuning in. Have some comments. Yeah, very sensitive topic. Yeah, we could talk about this forever. But I wanted to get into the small-sided versus 11v11 development. I've talked to many players about this, and you see it all the time. I grew up playing on the streets, and then you see it transferable into 11v11 sides. Players are good, in tight spaces, but does that really translate? Does that develop the player really? So, what do you guys think about that?
Everything that I see is kind of the trend in Europe, at least. The coach do the small-sided games, but sometimes I miss that the field is big, right? And positioning and the running, and there is other thing that I don't know. I think still need to have a mix, but I see a lot of value in the small-sided. Even it's easy to manage the practice.
A mix of it's pretty age-specific, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, they have a structure in the US. U11, U12 is 9v9. U10, U9, 7v7. Before that's 4v4. U13 and above is 11v11. I think they've pretty much got the age brackets right because otherwise it's just a kick and run game or big powerful kids could dominate. At least when it's more size appropriate, if more people getting touches, it encourages the skill work. And then you can do optional small-sided with the futsal and things like that. But, it's set up for a reason. Are you trying to say that, 11v11 for a 10-year-old is better?
No, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to figure out which is better for development.
I think what I understand in your question was more passing already in the, let's say, high teenage or already college or amateur or pro. I think that's how I understand his question. And when you said 11v11, small-sided, more touch on the ball, the players can develop better the skill. That's one thing that I agree. That advantage in the small field. That in the big field, when you practice in the big field, 11v11, it's like a game. You don't touch too much on the ball, right?
Right.
You don't have too much touch. Of course, that sometimes you need to have that to have the space, have the formation set up.
Yeah. The only thing to me that small-sided doesn't provide is field awareness, positioning.
Yeah, that's
those two.
Very important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Very important.
It's important.
I see some guys that are very good small-sided, and I see them in 11v11 games. And when they get the ball, they're pretty good. But depends on the scenario. a lot of times it looks like they're just lost out there. They can have nice touches, but it's just like they
And
just
vice
seem
versa.
disoriented there.
And vice versa.
But you in the college, tell me how it is in the. There is probably a lot of talking to between coach and players, not only in the field, but kind of talking presentation, something like this, showing how to position the field too, right? Or not too much.
Yeah, we go. It's mainly defensive. We do have offensive orientation kind of stuff, but mainly defensive formation is more drilled. And I mean, if we're talking about 11v11, are we talking about development for older players that are already playing 11v11?
Player, period.
Okay.
Oh, but then go inside what he said. I think then,
What did you say?
Well, I just you can't blanket the whole topic like that because you got kids. You can't put a bunch of 7-year-olds on 11v11 field.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you're right.
It's madness.
Yeah.
But you look at some of the best futsal players in the world. Is it that Ricardo? I think his name is from Brazil, right?
No,
or is
he's from Portugal.
Portugal, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't play in an outdoor team, right? Not that I know of. So, obviously, or you think of, that if you ever watch that And One basketball tour, a lot of the street basketball players, very few of them ever make it to the NBA. I think 1 or 2 have maybe made it.
Right.
It's just So
So
if you specialize and just stick to one game, one small-sided, then you might be very good at the tricks, but then you got the vision, like you said, that you're not gonna get. But you make it as a mixture. And then with fields, like I know a lot of the clubs here, and even those with academies and whatever, your top academy teams, they never or very rarely have a full 11v11 field to themselves for training. They're training in a quarter or half of a field, so you have to do a lot of small-sided stuff.
All right, that goes to the next part of that. So Detroit has better potential to field small-sided or 11v11. Should we focus if we're developing a style here to take out to put out there, should we focus on the small-sided or 11v11 as a player develops? Obviously, past the age of like 7v7 or 7-year-olds,
like 15.
15, yep.
I don't know. Go back to the same thing. Is the mix. If your question is like what? Develop fields on the parks, 11v11, have small fields, or what the idea? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's just doing both. I mean, I think Detroit has a style. You look at a lot of the top teams that come out that win, national championships and, ECNL, academy stuff. It's quick passing movement, and quick, good first touch. And a lot of that gets developed through the indoor training. And, futsal's a part of it these days, but this indoor training in small spaces, quickness of play, that all gets developed in small-sided stuff. When you do get a chance to have half a field, maybe a team's not there one night and you have a half field, that's the times you're working a bit more on maybe a defensive shape or an attacking play. But most of the time it's speed of play, rondos, that sort of thing, or different setups.
Yeah, we get Drew Ducker out here. I'm sure he would be on the small-sided side. He's like, total development's all small-sided.
Yeah, but I think you see small-sided in futsal. There is an end path because you can play, for the Mud Puppies in Ann Arbor or whatever, but, it's to enhance and to make your game better as an outside player. That really futsal comes in as well.
Yeah, you're right. So, for Detroit's a big city, right? But it has space. It's considered a big city, but it has space to facilitate 11v11, no problem. So I think, it'll be beneficial for us to utilize that space. Not us right now, I'm just Detroiters in general. Utilize the space here and, see a pitch every block or every 2 blocks or something.
Well, there's fields, around, but until you get a club that's based down here, I know Canton are trying to do that partnership with Detroit City, but then I don't necessarily think they're going to have many games down here or outdoor games because they're going to have the field house. Until you get a Nationals downtown Detroit or someone that's based here, and then parents from the suburbs are forced to bring their kids down for games at an outdoor field in Detroit, it's going to be hard to have that sort of thing going on.
There are games down here. I mean, they're youth games. I've seen youth games.
Yeah, I mean, there's
here.
PAL and that sort of stuff.
At Keyworth last year, I mean, I'd train there in the summer. I'd see, I'm not sure which club, but there'd be games there. And
Hamtramck City, probably. Hamtramck City
Warriors.
FC or something like that, yeah.
I think Warriors, yeah. There are little games like that, but it's definitely not as extensive as out in the suburbs.
Yeah, until you can get a big club that's competing on like the leagues that other clubs will have to come play.
ECNL and
not even ECNL, but just a club that's got teams in Division 1 of the age groups. There's a decent standard, and there's a field with, whether it be like a little clubhouse, or just toilets and a cafeteria. It's just somewhere that's like a hub.
I mean, I would say Detroit Soccer District.
Well, that's 4v4 field, right?
5v5, 7v7, depends on how big you are.
We got to grow the district.
That's right. But from a culture standpoint, I see small-sided developing here even better than 11v11, if you will.
Well, it's always easier to get a small-sided game going if there's not a strong organization of clubs there. If you're doing pickup, a lot of the times you're going to be doing small-sided. Even if you have enough players, most of the time small-sided works out better if you're just doing pickup.
Yeah.
The positions are more fluid. You don't get into arguments of having to be stuck on defense if you're not a defender. A lot of times, defenders aren't really coming out as much to the pickup games.
What position do you usually play, Keith?
Right mid.
Okay. For the legendary UK Royals, you play right mid?
Yeah, a bit like Rooney these days, so I drop a bit further back, and quarterback the team. No, right mid, centre mid, right mid, wherever. Then I come off, get a breather.
Okay. Yeah. What is it, over 40? You guys play them, Marcos?
Yeah, we're gonna Eagles, right?
No.
We have a game.
Royals.
UK Royals. Division 1.
UK.
Division 1.
Division 1, Marcos.
We're far away from Division 1, man.
Anyway. So
I can even put the guys practicing the small field. Don't never have enough. People don't want to practice.
Yeah, people don't want to practice, man. What's up with that? They just want to show up to the games and that's it. But anyways, so why are you laughing at that?
I want to practice. I love practice.
Yeah, I like practice too. It's unbelievable that people, oh no, I hate practicing, man. It's fun.
It's the weather. Blame it on the weather. So, well, to that point, so, there's training techniques that you can do at home. Like, do you guys know of any or went through it as you're growing up? Like, DIY home training techniques?
Well, I love the passing off a wall. I was, London's wall ball champion. Have you ever played wall ball? That's
what is it? You draw chalk?
No, you just pick a random bit of a wall. There's normally like a section or a couple of pillars, maybe 15 feet apart. Then you have one touch or sometimes two touch, and you have to hit it against the wall. And if you miss, then you're out. Or
Oh man, your mom gonna love you.
Played in the alleys across Europe.
Yeah,
great.
We did that on fence. We
didn't bounce very well off a fence.
Well, it wasn't wall ball. You would get say 3 people. We'll get Tommy we'll do 1-on-1, and then someone's in the goal. We'll do that all the time when I was growing up. You ever play that, Marcos?
Oh no! What I did I have in my backyard.
Do it. Say it.
In Brazil, I love Nelinho. Do you remember Nelinho?
No.
Was one of the best free kickers that we have. He kicked with the 3 fingers here outside, and the ball always do a curve. Man, I was always trying to practice that thing in the backyard, but there was a big door glass. I don't know how that thing never broke.
You weren't shooting hard enough.
You were shooting all the time. Man. Have all the balls marking every play.
What?
Yeah.
Your parents would let you do that? Oh my!
Wall ball. Never heard of that.
You never the ball, kicking the ball against the wall, taking turns.
Yeah.
I just did that with myself. I just hit it off the ball with myself.
Yeah, if you challenge someone, it's fun. Plus, you're trying to judge where the ball's going, so you're moving. And you go, if you play one touch wall ball, it works in your first touch, hitting a bouncing ball, angles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strategy to wall ball.
You grew up in the concrete jungle, that's why.
Oh, but
some
today
green spaces around as well.
Yeah, he's from London.
I have a playlist now on YouTube with a lot of drills to do inside the home.
Like what?
Oh, they have like you move the ball feet to feet, move the ball, bring to 1 foot, change foot. They have like tons of video that you find there. Like same thing that we're talking here, right?
Yeah,
Like
so there's definitely ways to train at home.
As a kid, mainly, I mean, by myself, I wasn't doing as much. I would juggle sometimes if the coach, like there was a coach assignment or a challenge, I would juggle by myself. But mainly, me and my brothers would play just soccer in the house, staircase, and then an opening.
Yeah, break
we
some
would
glasses.
Do that. We broke a lot. We broke a lot of things. It wasn't. Then once you break something, you hide it and you wait. Wait until they find out about it. But we're doing 3v3, but lately 3v3 we'd have, or no, not 3v3, 1v1v1, 1v1v1. We would have 3 goals.
Is it World Cup?
No, we'd have 3 goals going on.
Okay.
And so you'd have to, have your angles down. And if somebody's leading, then maybe you team up, form alliances. That was pretty fun. And lately I've just, my little brother would do dribbling in his room all the time. He'd just be dribbling around in his room and,
with a full-size ball?
Full-size ball, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I spend the day with the ball. Every time that I go in the house, I go with the ball.
Yeah, I got superstitious. I was like, I got to sleep with this ball. But I tell you what, every time it comes back to me, I say the ball loves me. You guys probably didn't understand.
It never gets you through the day.
Yeah. The ball's always coming to me and like, how does the ball stay on your foot? It loves me. I used to treat it with respect, and I used to sleep with it. Literally, sleep with the ball at night. What my brother used to say, put the ball next to your pillow at night so you can build a relationship.
Osmosis?
Yeah,
you're gonna learn soccer by osmosis.
Yeah.
But then you think of that, you seen those TV ads for that like ball? You know how you have that dancing game where it's like move left and right?
Oh yeah.
And it looks a bit gimmicky to me, that for the ball. It's like the smart ball. It's yellow. You seen those ads on TV?
I've seen it.
I haven't seen those.
It's like if the screen then says, like right, drag, you got to quickly shift. Drag,
it's like
drag,
Dance Revolution for soccer.
That's like robot training. Where are you thinking for yourself in those situations?
Exactly.
They're negating the imagination in that, I feel like.
Well, think about drills. Drills, you do constant drills to get it like osmosis.
Yeah.
So when it comes game time, you already have that
the
body pattern.
The idea of the drill is your body incorporate that thing as a natural thing,
Right.
like walking, right? You don't think to walk.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of the drill is that, right? For any kind of skill, right?
Drill.
That you want to develop in your life is
multiplication tables.
Yeah.
You drill that in. Yeah. So what do you think about that, Keith? You like it or no?
Nah, gimmicky, innit?
Yeah.
Why is it gimmicky?
Well, it's just like I said. I think you learn by just by playing and doing your own things. Just it's like when I first came to the States, when I was doing camps, I had to sell that soccer pal thing. When you have a little bag of a rope and you had to put the ball in it.
You had to sell that?
I had to sell that at the soccer camps. Yeah, we had a certain amount we had to sell every week. Had to like hawk to the kids and the parents for like $12 or something. It was part of what we had to do for the summer camps.
Yeah.
But I didn't believe in it. I mean, what are you really learning by just kicking the ball in the bag and then it comes back to your foot? And same thing with this new thing, even though it's a bit more complex and maybe you are, it's nothing new that you can learn or no combos that you can't do out in the park by yourself. You don't need to be staring at a screen. Just get out and play with someone and work on the moves.
Yeah, especially
be out in the park's much better, but unfortunately here we have winter, right?
Yeah, but you could, I ain't paying money for that anyway.
Yeah, and it engages your imagination more than you following directions, and that is more useful on the soccer field. If you're imagining a scenario for yourself, and then it's a lot easier to transfer that to the game than I'm following this order that this screen or this ball is giving me.
Yeah. But other thing that you can, if you talk about do at home, that I feel that people don't do too much is really watch the game and pay attention on the game, analyzing the game, record, go back, try to understand what people is doing there. That maybe is the best thing that you can do when you're home, is really watch the game without siding any team there. Just watch the game to learn.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But what would you know to look for? What would you know if?
You look for, get one player, your position. You play forward, get a forward that you identify your style. Let's say you identify with Lewandowski, for example. Then watch him, how he moves. Of course that the camera don't help too much because it's not focused on him all the game, right? It's not like being in the stadium. But you look how he moves, the time that he moves. You learn things.
Mm-hmm.
You learn things about formation. Get before the game, try to understand, this team gonna play what? 4-3-3. Okay, what the forward doing the 4-3-3 here? Because then you start to understand, because sometimes it's hard. You go and talk with players and you talk, let's play 4-4-2, but when in the end you see the team playing 4-3-3. Because people...
Always talks about formation.
Yeah. It's learn a little bit what to do in the field, right? And understand more your style also sometimes. You look
but there's got to be a certain... I mean, you got to be a certain age, like a 10 or even a 14-year-old can't watch a game and, keep their concentration that long to study it,
And I could see that difference on my...
10 minutes, but not a whole game.
My son, when he play soccer, he didn't watch games, and I saw friends that watch game understand much more the game, have much more vision and what to do in the game. And my son was just there, looks like having fun. And the other player that watched more the game, there was two that was pretty into that. They really understand what to do there.
But isn't that the point, to have fun?
Oh no, have fun, of course.
I agree. You have to be a certain age for some of the tactical things.
Yeah.
Like after I was really playing a lot of defense in college, I was watching how they decide to drop their line, when they do, and all that kind of stuff. Rewinding, seeing like the distance between the player with the ball and the first defender who's addressing the ball, and how the line adjusts to how much pressure is on the ball and who's on the ball. And I thought that stuff was really helpful for me in developing that awareness of when to drop and who I'm guarding, like how far to be away from them. But I do think it's useful as a kid for certain things like dribbling styles. I think that people absorb that kind of stuff a lot more if they're watching. They see a certain person dribbling a certain way, and I think they kind of absorb that stuff, not through like analytical kind of thing, but just through seeing it and repeating it or trying to do it themselves.
Yeah, and the kids until a certain age, of course, that they not gonna have that interpretation of the game. But when you're getting older, and you say, more like if you're in the 16, 17, you start saying, I want to try a professional career, then that's the time that you really have to get more involved on these things, right? Understand more the game and study more the game. It's not only about the technique, but
You guys been to the games at the Big House?
No. Yes.
I wonder. It'd be interesting. I wonder what percentage are really because you get a great view there. You can watch the runs, off the ball and that. But it's probably a fraction of 1% that are truly watching the game like that. Everyone's there, just having a more party atmosphere. But
play soccer.
No. We just talk what more we can do sideways than the practice and play the game, right? When you talk here, we're not gonna say that you be in front of the TV, you're gonna learn how to play soccer. No, you watch and you go there and go in your practice, talking with your coach
back to what you're saying, most effective at-home training techniques. I mean, most people learn by doing. I mean, you may watch a clip or a YouTube clip or something on any social media of a new move that any player does, whether it's Messi, Ronaldo, or just whoever. people are copying it. Like my team, Crystal Palace, I'll give a ding for that.
Yeah.
If you remember, actually about 4 years ago, Yannick Bolasie against Spurs, he did a move against Eriksen where he swept the floor and then he rolled the ball and it flicked up over Eriksen. And that's been played a ton. People have been trying to copy it, and just little things like that. Just you can watch. Rather than the whole game and analyze, but you see a little clip on YouTube, then go try and.
Then you go search. Today's a lot of tools there.
Yeah, something.
I'll do the move against you, Joe. I'll show you.
Yeah, please do it. Please do it. Yeah, something I like is as a forward, if whoever sends the ball up, and it happens every time. It's so obvious. This is one of those you learn from doing. Someone's going to win the ball. Most likely, defenders don't bring it down and try to, play out the back. They just head it out. And all you got to do is take 2 or 3 steps back, anticipate, and then it's yours. So that's, you can watch. I've seen that done in pro as well, but that's something I learned doing and then saw it in the pros.
Yeah. And sometimes going that, like a corner defender. Kick. What I hate in the corner kick, if you're attacking or defending a corner kick, when I see teams that don't have a guy on the top of the box, not top of, a little bit more out of the box there, to get the rebound. You see teams like...
This is MUSL Division 3, though, right?
No. I already saw teams in the pro doing this thing and say, man, come on, where's the guy for the rebound to try to score a goal from the rebound, or a guy from the rebound to defend that ball and let the attacking guy get that? I see people doing that mistake even in the pro.
How do you learn that at home?
Oh, not at home, no.
How do you learn that at home? Yeah. Yeah, what do? You go in your backyard and position yourself and imagine?
That's not at home, man.
I've seen that, though. People... There's a new training technique out there that you don't use a ball. You imagine yourself doing it.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's kind of to me it's
maybe
soccer.
Good for once a year. Maybe once a year do that.
It's a Tai Chi Chuan soccer, right?
Shaolin soccer. Shaolin soccer. All right. No, but yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it done in groups too, positioning wise, they'll set it up and say I'm passing it to you. Let's do basketball for example. I pass it to you, you receive it, and then it's like you have the ball in your hands. It's so weird. What are you gonna do with that unless it's actually there?
Yeah, I don't know. You're off on a tangent here.
That's imagination. That's I was relating it back to at home techniques that you could do, and I've seen that done.
Just gotta have a ball at your feet. Just gotta do touches.
Touches, yeah.
Get in the backyard, play against your dog. Dogs are good defenders.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Let's move on. So let's get into the bonus. You guys have any comments about Champions League coming up?
Yeah, that's what I bring here. Let's do this thing. Quick round, because we're gonna meet in 2 weeks and the quarters will be over, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Next week, yeah.
Liverpool and Porto.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool, this one. Tottenham and City.
I'm actually going to go for Tottenham to cause the upset.
Oh.
City.
Yeah, I'll go with Tottenham as well.
They play 3 times in 2 weeks. So they got a league game in the middle of their 2 Champions League. And I just think that was probably the worst draw City could get. I just see it. City are favourites, but I think Tottenham could upset them.
I go with City.
Congrats to the English teams out there.
And
they're like it used to be.
Ajax and Juventus. It's crazy.
It would be close, but money's on Juventus there.
Yeah.
Juve.
I pick Juve only because one single factor. Not one. They have multiple factors, but.
Yeah, I think it'll be Juve. I would like to see Ajax passing, but I think it'll be hard.
I think their defense will have learned from the Juve's defense will have learned from Real Madrid's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And United and Barcelona.
I mean, everything says Barcelona could win, but can Solskjaer pull out some magic? I'm going to say United will win one of those legs, but will lose overall.
That's what always happens with Barcelona.
I think Barca wins.
Yeah, that's what always happens.
Maybe 2-1 at Old Trafford to United, and then maybe a 3-1 to Barcelona at the new camp, something like that.
Barcelona always provides false hope for these teams.
I know, but
Barcelona is kind of I don't know. The season is they are leading easily the Spanish, but Atletico Madrid, both Madrid teams not playing that great, right? I don't feel too much confidence in the Barcelona team too.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna barely pass here because United also.
So is there a bet on this? Because we're all the same apart from my Tottenham. So if I win, what do I get from you three?
We'll talk about it.
All right.
Well,
okay.
Thank you for tuning in. Detroit Soccer District, home to a mini sports pitch located on Warren and Grand River, 5 minutes west of Wayne State. Again, thank you to Siegel's Deli.
Yeah, maybe you'll cater a corned beef sandwich from Siegel's Deli if I win.
Yes. All right, Keith. That's for Keith right there. Keith Baldwin. He's put money. We're going to get him Siegel's Deli.
Homemade soups as well. All the best.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week.